It never fails. Like from the outside looking in, technology is.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's get this rolling again. Never fails. Like from the outside looking in.
Okay. So yeah, it looks much better. Okay.
Sorry about that, guys.
We're back. I'm not sure what happened. YouTube sucks sometimes, but I blame Google Hangouts because yeah, that's the worst part. But yeah. So welcome back, everyone. Part two. uh, so my next question, not related to Jason, not related to Highway Hell, but I'm just curious. Do you have any guilty pleasure singers, bands, music in general? Is there anything that just when you hear it, you're just so pumped up, but to other people, it might be quite embarrassing?
I don't know about embarrassing. I mean, if I want to have a good time, I'm gonna have a good time. That's about
Oh, yeah, yeah, for
so
sure.
I enjoy good music. I enjoy anything from that soul. To be quite honest, I listen to diversified, and I mean that universally when I talk about that. I like all different types of films. I always I hang out with different types of people. I can go into a biker bar and feel fully comfortable, and go into a nice restaurant with a suit and tie and feel comfortable. It doesn't rub me the wrong way or either way. So I've always been very diversified. So I don't really think there's anything that embarrasses me or bothers me. I mean, I've got horses. I've got a beautiful maid horse. Name is Desperado, and he's out of control sometimes. And when I ran casino resorts, I wore a suit and tie all day long. So, and spoke to hundreds of employees at a time. So
that's awesome.
I'm pretty universal.
Well, it's the only reason I asked that is because I let everyone know that last night I listened to Olivia Newton-John "Let's Get Physical" in the shower.
I don't know if I would mention that.
You mentioned that about.
There are some things you just keep to yourself, and that might be one of them. I can tell you right now, 20% of the fan base just dropped off this conversation.
Oh yeah, we're down to like 2 viewers now.
You got to be careful. That's what universal means. A broad group. All right, you can't just dial in one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh goodness. All right.
Yeah,
so the question that I have, Mr. Graham, CJ Graham, is how was it? If you can tell me the experience of recording the ending of Part 6, if you don't mind me asking, the whole water and everything. How was that in the suit?
It's interesting because a lot of people don't realize there's several different water scenes in the last set. Part of the scene we did in Atlanta, Georgia, in a stagnant lake at the camp. The burn scene we did in a pool, at an Olympic-sized pool in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
The underwater scene was done in an Olympic-sized diving pool in Los Angeles, and the scene where Jason's face gets whacked from the propeller was done in Tom McLaughlin's mother and father's pool in the backyard. So 4 different locations to put the water scene together in the end. So it was exciting, but I will tell you, physically being chained down 20 feet under the water, and I mean with a real chain standing on a center block, was interesting. And what I would do is just work as long as I could, and then signal by hitting your chest to the safety divers to come in and give me oxygen. They just pull my mask and stick a regulator right in my face because I couldn't see anything. It was pitch black. And then I take a few deep breaths and go back to work. So I earned my pay in those days.
For sure.
Oh, hell yeah. Imagine they definitely got their money's worth out of you that day. That whole scene.
Oh yeah, and it's from what I heard, because I watched the Crystal Lake Memories documentary. I've seen that multiple times now. You were the reason you were prompted to be asked to be Jason was there was a hypnotist and you dressed up as Jason, and was there someone from Part 5 or one of the Jason movies? But can you elaborate on how you became or were asked to be Jason?
I was It's twofold answer. I was a general manager of a club in L.A. at a hypnotist show, and the hypnotist was having a company called Real Effects come in and shoot the video for a promotional tape. Real Effects happens to be the special effects people that did the movie itself, Jason. They're right across the street from Paramount. And one of the scenes they wanted to put into the hypnotist video was Jason coming through the screen and scaring the subjects. Well, they happen to have the wardrobe. So guess who came through the screen? They said, well, pick CJ's big ass. He looks like he could be a Jason. And came through the screen, and as I say, the rest is history.
Yeah. Like that's the best story ever, because I mean it's not your typical LA going to audition and then going to another audition. It's like just by sheer chance those people did that at your club, and the rest is history. Like you said, it's amazing. It's a great story.
Right. Yeah, and like I say, I'm very humble that I was chosen and again able to deliver, and that we're having this conversation 32 years later. Exactly.
And there's a lot of people. I said this earlier. A lot of people hold Part 6 in such high regard, and I mainly attribute that to your performance in that. I think your version of Jason was very, like Tom McLaughlin aimed for, the Frankenstein sensibility, and that was portrayed very well. Oh, I think you've muted yourself and gone off camera. Yeah, I could. Yeah, we can see you now.
There you go. Sorry about that. My son was calling me.
All right, no, that's fine.
Sorry about that.
When it comes through, they're out walking around while I was doing this interview, so I was telling them to get back in the car and come around.
So, my question to you is, did you manage to keep any props from the film?
Well, a couple hockey masks just happened to get into my bag. I don't know how that happened.
Oh, hell yeah.
Since we're on YouTube, I don't want this. One day I was doing a show about 15 years ago, and somebody brought a hockey mask by and asked me to autograph it, and I said, wow, this looks like a real hockey mask, and he said it was. He had got it from the special effects guy at Real Effects.
Wow.
And I asked him, well, how much did you pay for it? When he told me, my jaw hit the ground, because I just happened to have two in a box in Las Vegas in the garage. So I immediately came home and sold one and kept one. I have one that's put in a shadow box, and it's my son's.
That's awesome. How much did he tell you that it went for? I'm curious.
That one he had bought, and he had paid $6,000 for.
Wow.
Probably.
So that was a long time ago. So, and I've had people send me emails and offer me lots of money, and I've had people offer me. My best one that I remember was a 1971 Mach 1 with a 302 engine in it.
For the mask.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And I asked my son, and he said no. It was his choice.
Yeah, exactly.
How many kids do you have? You don't mind me asking?
Pardon me?
How many children do you have?
I have one son and two stepdaughters.
One son, two stepdaughters. So growing up, your son especially, how was he knowing that his father played Jason? Did he love that when he was growing up?
No, he's pretty quiet about it, to be quite honest. In fact, nobody really knows until somebody finds out, because he's just a little more private about it. But he's not a big talker about it, but when people do find out, it becomes a conversation piece. But he's not a big deal about it. Now, the girls, they're 19 and 21 now. My boy's 23. But the girls, they tell everybody their stepdad is Jason because they just think it's cool as shit. The boyfriends probably don't like it, but the girls think it's cool.
Do you ever have to pull out a machete or put on a mask to show them who's boss? Have you ever had to do that before?
Of course.
Oh, that's amazing.
I remember when the girls were younger, maybe 5-6 years ago, they would always say to their mom, "Tell him to be really nice to my friend. He's coming over, and they know he played Jason." They'd be worried about it.
Yeah.
And now I see that you're doing a lot of conventions where you're doing the in-costume photo ops. Is that a costume that was made specifically for you? Like when did you get the costume, and then when did you start doing the photo ops in costume?
Right, about a year and a half ago, the fans kept asking me to do a costume together. So I worked with 4 or 5 different people that are professional wardrobe makers and designed the wardrobe. It's probably 95% accurate
Wow.
with the movie. And the reason I say 95%, if it was 100, it would be the actual suit. I don't want to mislead.
Yeah.
However, I will tell you, everything that I wore during the film I was familiar with. Everything was OD green, Vietnam era shirt, khaki pants, web belt, 30 caliber holder, with an 18-inch machete. I mean, all that equipment I was familiar with because I worked in the military.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
So
awesome.
I was able to work with these folks to get military surplus items that were of quality, and then I worked with somebody for the hood who does a great job up in Canada, and then I knew the mask, and a couple people made masks, and then I made a selection of what mask I would use.
That's awesome. That's
You know what,
really,
man?
really cool.
John, I don't think I've ever told John this, but when I was a kid, I hated Part 6 for so long, and I'll tell you why. I was so scared when he came out of the grave without the mask, and they were hitting him with the shovel, and he started just wrecking shop all over the damn place. And for a long time, I just stopped it right there. I would never go past that as a kid. That shit used to scare me so bad, dude.
And now you got red hair.
Now I got red. Oh, because Jason hit me in the head. No,
Jason hit you with a machete.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly. We've got a question from one of our viewers, Uncaped Crusaders. His name's Craig, and he's asked, "Do you have a relationship, or did you ever have a relationship with Dan Bradley, who was in Part 6 before you were cast?"
No, I've never met him. Going back to when I got the part, it was down to 2 people, and Mr. Bradley was cast originally. The one scene with the paintball is Dan, and there's a scene walking through the woods, which is Dan, and you can tell it's just not the way I would walk. But unfortunately, they got the first dailies back, and it wasn't meeting the satisfaction of what Paramount and Tom McLaughlin was looking for. And so I believe it was a Friday, I got a call back that they wanted me to come back, and Monday morning I was on my way to Atlanta, Georgia. But I've never met him. I do understand, though, he's went on to have a very successful film career, both directing and as a stunt coordinator.
Nice. And speaking of stunts, you are obviously different from all the other Jasons because you didn't come on as a stunt coordinator and then just so happened to be Jason. So how was it doing all those stunts at the time, knowing that it's not something you'd done before?
I think that's the most important part. A lot of people don't realize that when they find out. Kane Hodder just found out in the last year that I'd never done a stunt in my life.
Yeah.
Until the movie. He thought I'd had some experience himself. Tom Morga, he had been to school. He did Part 5, and of course Kane had never been to school officially, but had done a lot of stunt coordinating and stunts. But we were on a panel in the last year, and when they both found out I'd never done a stunt in my life and had no experience, they were like, they really thought I was out of my mind. But at the same time, I am 27, 28 years old, indestructible. Let me do it. And, I did.
Yeah. And we also have another question from our friend Phil, Phil's Creepy Vids. He's asked if you've ever watched the fan-made movie Never Hike Alone.
Yes. Great guy, did a good job with that. The director I've spoken to before, and they did a great job with that. Going back to that's a good example of the question earlier about the technology and the capabilities. They used a drone and different forms of technology to give a good POV point of view for the fans to see Jason from a different perspective. So that makes sense.
Yeah. And honestly, I've still not got around to watching it, but I did see that they're bringing out like I think it's like a special edition Blu-ray package that they're bringing out. And they did like a Kickstarter, and that's definitely something I would love to check out. I've heard a lot of great things, and I've seen a lot of stills and images from it, so I'm really excited to check that out.
Yeah, they did a nice job. The director that did a good job with that, and I think there's some opportunities there. That gentleman that did that is going to, I anticipate you'll see them in the future.
Yeah, I don't doubt that either. We've got another question from a guy called Brian Minnick, and he's asked, why did you turn down playing Jason in Freddy versus Jason? Was it because you were friends with Kane Hodder? I'd never heard that.
Well, a lot of people ask those questions. I mean, I always tell people it's not. We are just the players in the game. We're not the coaches and the owners.
Yeah.
The coaches and the owners make the decisions. You know, we're just the player. We do a job, and you know, if we're available, we'll do a project. If we're not available, we're not. But over the last 20 years, I've been running casino resorts, and my schedule isn't flexible enough where I can take 8 to 10 weeks off from running a casino resort.
Yeah.
You know, I'm paid very well to operate that, you know, multi-million-dollar operation, and I can't just quit for 2 months to go do a film and then come back. So,
Exactly.
I mean, the answer is a combination of there's factors other than just, again, if I was asked to come back in Jason Resurrection, if I could deliver a product, I would. In those days, I was too busy running casino resorts and finishing my career so I could come to where I'm at today.
Awesome. Yeah, that completely makes sense. And I mean, I think because they initially they were going to take Kane Hodder for Freddy versus Jason, and then I think it was New Line, because I feel like New Line got the franchise at that point. They just wanted to move in a different direction. There was 4 movies back to back with Kane as Jason, which he was a great Jason as well. But they just wanted to take it to the next level, and that's where Ken came in. And I thought he was a great Jason as well.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I know that from being in different panels with Ken and Kane, I know that Kane had lunch and had talked to them and was under the assumption he was doing it, and then they moved another direction, which was with Ken.
Yes.
And Ken produced, but they wanted somebody bigger. Ken is like 6'7", 6, and they even put platforms on Ken. I didn't know that, but he told me that at the Texas Frightmare convention that they had 2-inch platforms on him to make him 6'8".
Wow. I didn't know that either.
He was a monster.
Yeah, and I mean, Ken's a tall guy, enough as it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, so I have one last question on mine. This one's actually my son. He's 7 years old. He was curious to know this. He wants to know Jason versus Michael Myers, who would win? And it would be an official answer to my son if you answer this.
I got the answer. What's your son's name?
His name's Albert.
Albert, just so you understand, son, real men use a machete, not an Outback steak knife.
Oh my God.
Any questions?
There you go.
Thanks, Albert, for the question.
He's gonna fucking freak out. Thanks.
That's awesome.
All right.
We've got another question here from Doug. He actually asked, what does CJ stand for?
It's just CG on my birth certificate. It's my legal name. My birth certificate says C.J. last name Graham, and
Wow.
in the old days it was odd. Today it's pretty common.
Yeah, it is pretty common. And I had someone that I grew up with, and his name was CJ, and everyone just kind of, his name's Calvin John, his name's Craig James. And then when we asked his mum, she was like, no, it's just CJ.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
my son's name is Duffy James, and I just call him DJ sometimes, just to initialize it. But my name is truly just CJ.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Let me see here. When you were doing the stunts going back to the stunts for part 6, was there any point where you injured yourself, or anyone in the crew or the cast injured themselves doing any of the stunts on the movie?
No, I mean, I got cuts and bruises every day because if you take a look at it, it's quite physical. But my hat off to the actors and actresses that allowed me to physically take their body and throw their head into a camera, or take a real knife and, charge it towards their head and stop in time so they could do a cut scene, or pick them up physically. Tom Matthews, I held him underwater physically while we did the fight scene. He did a few of his own stunts before the stuntman came in, and I credit all of them for allowing me to physically abuse them and to have enough confidence that I wouldn't hurt them.
Awesome. And then, given the opportunity, would you rather play Leatherface and be directed by Toby Hooper, play Freddy Krueger and be directed by Wes Craven, or be Michael Myers directed by John Carpenter? If you had to pick any of them, and then the rest of them, the other actors that play them now, they never existed. Which one would you prefer to choose?
So if you asked me that question 30 years ago, I'd have a good answer. But today, I wouldn't play any of those parts since I played Jason. I now get to be at the top of the pillar. So, all of those are great. Now, if you asked me that question 30 years ago, I would have loved in that day, that era, to going back to the 60s with Lon Chaney Jr., Boris Karloff. I would have loved to have played Leatherface and Michael Myers, all right, and done the different characters and been the go-to person when they wore those different prosthetics, because most people want their face to show. I could care less.
Yeah.
But I would have loved to put under my belt that I played all those characters, Leatherface and Michael Myers and stuff. I think that Predator, that would have been so cool.
That would have been cool.
In those days, there wasn't a genre or a person that did that type of work, nor was there an agency that represented people, and that's what their capacity, because everybody wanted to be seen, where I didn't really care.
Yeah.
But if any one of those people, you couldn't put thumbs down to any of them, and you'd be a fool to pick one over the other.
True.
Because they're all friggin' amazing as directors and writers, producers, and all three of the people that you discussed character-wise have become somewhat iconic on their own. I'd like to think Jason is still top of the line and number one in the crew.
Exactly.
But I think those are all just amazing monsters.
Yeah, I think that they are maybe not this generation's, but they are the universal monsters of this day and age for sure, because they're all so iconic. And I mean, Freddy Krueger's been played by one actor. Let's not count the remake, but one true actor has played Freddy Krueger, and he's ran with that character. And it's just because he's such an amazing character actor. A lot of people hold Robert Englund in such high regard.
Yeah, and I think that's a good example of going back to a Boris Karloff or Lon Chaney
Yes,
Jr.
he's the Boris
Same thing.
Karloff.
I mean, Robert's not a tall guy, big guy. He's normal, and he took the character, created the character. He is the character, and no matter. That's one thing about Jason. We've kind of been left and right and up and down, but we've been fortunate because all of the characters that have played Jason, myself included, are good people, and we resonate well with our fans. So it's a different look iconically because the fans of today resonate with the different Jason characters, but when it comes to Freddy Krueger, they only resonate to Robert Englund.
Yes.
One person.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of these are there's no speech involved. There's no.
Correct.
It's all like a blank expression behind a mask, and that's where Robert's different. He's front and center. They started giving him more as the franchise went on. That's when he became more iconic with his one-liners and stuff. But that's actually made me think of a good question. If Jason was to say anything, what do you think he would say?
Mommy.
That's true, because that's where
you think about it. He was 12 years old when he died. He never said a word, but Mommy killed everybody in part one, so it makes you wonder if he was a mommy's boy.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Apart from part 6, what would you consider your favorite Friday the 13th movie?
I didn't know there were any others. Isn't part 6 the only one? I apologize. I must have missed the others. So I guess I'm going to have to stick with since I haven't seen any other than part 6. I don't want to mislead you and lie, because that would be rude. So I guess part 6 is going to have to be the best.
Well, part 6 is the best. Part 6 is better than part 5, isn't that right, Al?
What? Yeah.
Al, you got no say in the matter. You got red hair, buddy.
But at least Jason put it there. So
Exactly.
I'm saying that
All right, guys. I got a battery. It's getting ready to die on you.
Okay. Well, yeah, we can finish it up. That's about time anyway. But yeah, just before you go, are you going to be any conventions apart from the one tomorrow? Any conventions coming up in the future? And where can people find you on social media or your website?
I appreciate that. Anybody can just pull up cjgraham.com or jason6.com or hellcop.com. It'll send you right to my website, tell you where I'm at. The first weekend of August, Flashback Weekend in Chicago. Looking
Nice.
forward to doing that. And then I've got October, I'm going up to Niagara Falls. So that
Nice,
should be
yeah.
fun.
I'm going to be there. I'm from Canada myself, so I'm going to go to Frightmare on the Falls. I'm going to come and say hi.
Yeah, we'll be up there enjoying ourselves, and then we'll get ready. We're starting to book shows already for 2019.
Wow.
So, but if again, you just go to the jason6.com website, last page will tell you all the different shows and places I go. I try to do, now that I'm semi-retired out of the casino industry, I try to do 6-7 shows a year,
Nice.
and I'm just very appreciative and humble that there's a desire for me to go out there. So I do go try to get out there and meet the fans as much as possible.
that's awesome.
That's great. And any of the social media and your website, we're going to leave that in the description below. So if anyone wants to go and check out CJ's website and see where he's going to be in the future when he gets those 2019 dates. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Hope you guys have a good rest of your Saturday.
And I appreciate you guys having me on your show and stuff. I really do. So, and a special shout to the fans. Thank you for your support.
Awesome.
Thanks, CJ Graham.
Tell
Yeah.
Albert I said my answer. Don't forget, all right?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to show him this video as soon as we get off the stream.
Absolutely.
Remember, real men use a machete, not an Outback steak knife.
That needs to be in a t-shirt, man. You need to
That's
sell
a trademark.
t-shirts
That's a
at
trademark.
conventions.
That's a trademark slogan. All right, thanks, CJ Graham.
See you guys later. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.